We're on ads right now.
Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to Bar Talk Live. It's been quite a bit. Alan, you said we're on ads, but hopefully they'll catch back up here pretty soon. Yeah, guys, it's been, what, over a month or about a month now?
About a month.
Yeah, I think a little over a month. But yeah, we've taken a little bit of a hiatus. There were some things, of course, as most of you may know, Kerr County was hit by a devastating flood on the 4th of July, which is where I currently live and also my hometown. So that was something that I kind of went through for a little bit there, and then just having to kind of go through the aftermath of that, a lot of internet issues, so we weren't able to effectively run the podcast off of that. But no, we are back now, and yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and jump into it today. I think we're all drinking some H2O today. Is that right, guys? Yeah.
Have anything around me.
I got a Sprite. I got a Sprite as well.
Got that good old H2O.
A spray.
The Sprite.
A spray.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
How do y'all want to jump into this? Y'all want to?
Oh man, it's been a while. It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've heard from any of them.
So, I guess can I open up?
Yeah.
Like how is PTSD a thing now? Like, does rain kind of like make you uneasy?
Oh yeah.
At least in your area.
Yeah. So we've had just
'cause
Sunday.
you live in Kerrville, so you got to see it happen from the stillness the night before.
Oh,
and
yeah.
chaos the day after.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of take it a couple steps back here, like, I live probably, not even a mile from the river. But luckily, I live on a hill, elevated enough to where it would have taken a whole lot more rain for that water to reach me. But I mean, yeah, just this last Sunday, we got some pretty good rain, and we got some pretty good rain on Saturday, and all everyone thought about was how much is the river going to rise. So it's definitely, like you said, that PTSD is there. It's going to be there. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, now you see, all these flood warnings that we're getting, and everyone kind of panics a little bit, kind of tries to figure out what they should do or what the severity of it's going to be. But yeah.
What precautionary measures have they taken now, like with the river?
Dude,
Have they taken any?
that's the crazy part. So there's been I don't want to get into the whole like politics of it all because all that's super complicated.
Yeah.
But there weren't any early warning systems. There were no flood sirens. They're supposed to have flood gauges that will measure the river's water level, and if it gets to a certain point, it'll let you know, hey, this water is rising, or it's hit this point. You should send out an evacuation notice. We had, I think, about one of them within our stretch through Kerr County, and that one failed. So, of course, we're supposed to have multiple as fail-safes, but that was not the case. And so, yeah, there were no precautions, really. It was really just if someone saw it and they alerted people. That's really how people knew. But now there's a whole session going on here in Kerr County. There's some senators and stuff here in town that are meeting with the city officials to kind of figure out what needs to be done to prevent something like this. I mean, if you guys don't know the stats, it's very scary to look at. They said we got about 26 feet of water in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
And mind you, this 45 minutes was early morning, like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. So while people are dead asleep, this happened, and yeah.
So, I guess, so it's July 3rd, right?
Yeah.
It's July 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So it's raining before you go to bed?
Yeah, so July 3rd, we had some scattered storms throughout the day, nothing really crazy. There had been talks about rain the next day, but of course we get that all the time. There's going to be, flood warnings that are going out. There's some scattered thunderstorms in the forecast, but those always, or they did always seem to dissipate once it got to us, or we never really got rain like that before. The last instance that happened was in 1987, I believe. And even then, I think the casualties were under double digits. But yeah, there was some scattered storms throughout the night, nothing crazy. But I think around 11 or midnight, there was a hard rain that came down, and it poured for about a good hour or so. And I was getting ready for bed. I had to work the next morning, so I was getting ready to go to sleep. But throughout the night, you could hear it, and it was crazy because, you hear the rain throughout the night, and you're like, okay, it's just raining. But there was something so different about it. Like, the thunder was like, I've never heard thunder that loud before. Like, I normally sleep pretty well throughout the night, and I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. But that night, I do remember the thunder waking me up at around like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I remember I got up and I went to our living room, and I ended up passing out on our couch for whatever reason. And the next morning at about 6 or 7, my mom came up to me and she was telling me, she was like, hey, there's serious flooding going on in town. She was like, are you going to work? And of course, at this time, nobody really knew the extent of the flooding, like how bad it really was. And I was like, yeah, I think so. I haven't heard anything from anyone yet. So I'm going to be going into work. And as I'm, getting up, getting ready for work, getting dressed, I just decided to turn on the news to kind of see what was going on. Because, of course, we had our big 4th of July, 4th on the River celebration that night. Something that everyone in town was going to. It's going to be a really big night, a lot of fun. We always have a really good turnout out there, and, something the town looks forward to. And you turn on the news, and the very first thing I saw was the Guadalupe River up to the bridge, which is, our bridge in town is about 39 feet elevated. And so you see the water rushing right under it. And then there's scenes where you can see like pieces of a house floating behind it, just rushing through there. Or you see trees that had been there for 150 years, even longer, that are there just rushing through the waters. And that's whenever you put into perspective, like, man, this is bad. Like, if you guys had ever been to Kerrville, and you guys were to see that bridge, you'd be like, damn, the water got up that high. Because it was really freaky just seeing it. Because, I've lived here pretty much my entire life, and I've never seen the river anywhere like that. It's always sad because we would look at the river and be like, man, it looks so low. There's like no water. We've gone through all these droughts, and yeah, just to see it rushing like that and rampaging through the city, it's crazy. There was, this dumpster, like, those big rollout dumpsters that they use to, like for contractors and stuff when they're demoing houses. One of those, yeah, there was one literally thrown up against a tree, torn in like half from the water. I'd never seen any like carnage like that before.
Well, that morning I remember Marcus calls me, and to this at this time we didn't know the extent of it either. I didn't even know there was floods. I remember, and Marcus calls me, and I'm like, I wonder why he's calling me. And he's like, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm fine. I'm like, okay, yeah, bro. I'm glad you're okay. And he's like, no, well, like, there's floods here. And I'm like flash floods? He's like, no, bro, like floods. And I'm like, he's like, look up Ingram or Kerrville floods. And I look it up, and I'm looking at all these videos. And I just go to Twitter, too. I go to Twitter, and I look up Kerrville County floods. And you can see, like, the time lapse of this, like, river just, like, filling up like that, and I'm like, dang, I'm like, I didn't even know y'all had a river, bro. Like, it was crazy to me. And then all these stories start coming out of the little girls of these
Yeah.
families missing. I'm like, oh my god, this is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, where is Camp Mystic in relation to Kerrville? I mean, is that in town, out of town? I mean,
It's out of town, so there's three connected towns, really, right? So it's Kerrville, which is going out towards, of course, San Antonio, and then before that you hit Ingram, and then a little bit before that there's a little town called Hunt, and that's where a majority of the camps are located. And that's where a lot of the damage really occurred because there's a lot of people that live out there, right there on the river. And that entire town is like completely devastated. There's this store that's been there for I don't even know how long called the Hunt store, and that building was completely ravished. All that's standing of that building is the very front wall. Like all the side walls are blown out, the back's blown out. Like nothing is like there. They still have their chimney there that's been there forever. Somehow that made it, but other than that, the entire storefront's gone. I mean, again, people's houses were washed away. People's houses, businesses that were out there, they were washed away. I mean, that's who we're doing our benefit concert for at work. One of our vendors that makes our picnic tables and benches out at my job, they were one of the many that were affected. So we're doing a benefit concert for them. But yeah, so again, it's all right there on that stretch of the Guadalupe. And I mean, I'd say like good 15, 18 mile stretch right there. So everything's all relatively close. They're not too spread apart. I mean, you go from one town to the next without really noticing that you're going from one to the next. But yeah.
what does it sound like? Like, is it terrifying to hear the river just gushing like that?
Did you ever like go up to it, like go up like near it when it was like, still at a high like level, or?
No, so during a lot of that, it was the river was pretty shut off to pretty much everybody unless you were search and rescue, or any sort of law enforcement, game warden, stuff like that. You couldn't really get near the river at all. But I mean, even now, it's been, what, a month? Like a month and a day since the flood. And, I mean, still, I've gone out to hunt before to help out, volunteer and help people with their houses and clean stuff out. And, I mean, you can still hear the river rushing. It's not anywhere near where it was, but there's still all this water that's rushing through. Because, again, we've had, several storms throughout this month that have not necessarily worsened anything, but it's kind of kept it to where it's been at. But
Is all the recovery efforts like? I know there was a lot of people still missing. Is there still a lot of people
so
missing?
as of right now, and this could have changed. I don't think so. But as of right now, there's currently 2 missing, or that are still missing. There's one Camp Mystic girl, as well as somebody else, I believe, an adult. But those are the only 2 that are still missing. When they were very haste about putting out actual numbers for the missing, so it took them about a week until we actually found out how many people were still missing. And that number was at like 130 something, I believe. It was in the hundreds. And then that number quickly dropped down to 3. I would say within like a day or two, it dropped down to 3. That was a thing that everyone was very interested about because, how do you go from like 100 people to only like 3 missing? But from what officials have told everyone here is that all of those people were either accounted for and had been found safely, or they were ones that hadn't been checked off of a list, but they had been recovered. Yeah, it's all been super crazy. I mean, I think our death count now is at 117 here in Kerr County, and then I think just everywhere along the Guadalupe. Because I mean, Kerr County is the one that has the main coverage just because of the the loss of life here. But there were other counties that were affected, and I think, including those other counties, I think the total is at like 130. So still a very large number, but yeah, Kerr County definitely got hit the largest. And again, I think the thing that really beefed up those tolls is we have so many RV parks and so many like little like resorts that are like right on the river. And of course, it was 4th of July weekend. We were going to have this big celebration. We're a big tourist community, so a lot of people coming from out of town. There were a lot of people here for that that were from out of town at those RV parks or at those places by the river. And unfortunately, those are the ones that were hit the hardest. So I think a lot of the missing numbers came from that too. They weren't exactly sure how many people were here from out of town visiting for the weekend, so yeah.
That Mystic Camp story was unfortunate too. That one was the first one that like I saw, but I think most of those little girls, they were found, right? Like,
Yeah, so I remember I got to work that Friday morning right around 9 a.m. And right as I was walking into work, I was talking with some of the people that were there, and asking like, hey, have all of our people been accounted for? Is everyone okay? And as we were kind of going through that, we get the first notification of a casualty. And a little bit goes on, and everyone's kind of trying to figure out what's going on, exactly how many would be included in that casualty count. And then we get pretty much first word from Kerr County officials that Camp Mystic has kind of gone MIA. No one's able to get a hold of them, and no one really knows what's happening. And again, that camp is massive. There's hundreds of campers there. I think the youngest of them were like 7 to 8 years old. And then they ranged, all the way up to 18-year-olds or college students that are camp counselors there. So again, everyone is, super worried about that and trying to figure out what happened to him, because again, nobody had heard from him. And the part that makes it even worse is that nobody could physically get out there to check on them either, because the waters were so bad at that camp. So they had to wait until about 11 or 12 o'clock in the afternoon, or probably about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, before they could even get a search and rescue boat out there to try and assess the situation, or try and see if they can locate them. And yeah, I mean, there are several stories of kids that were up in trees, or thankfully there were a good majority of them that were able to make it to higher ground in time. But the smaller kids were the ones, I guess, that were closest to the river, so they were the ones that unfortunately had the most missing, as well as the most casualties, because they were the closest to the river, furthest from higher ground. But yeah,
and we're talking like they were asleep. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. Again, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. All these kids were asleep. Yeah, and I remember that night whenever I came home, because I live maybe 6-7 minutes from Hunt, like from all those camps and stuff. And I live right by our local elementary school, and they used the elementary school as a unification center. So they had Black Hawk helicopters, and all these, Coast Guard was here. All these different services were here with their helicopters, and all throughout the night you could hear these helicopters going back and forth, hopefully, bringing kids back and trying to unite them with their parents and their families. But I just remember hearing it throughout the night, and all I could think about is like, man, like who are they bringing home? Are they able to bring somebody home? But
It's just insane to think about how deadly nature is.
You just don't see that stuff like you don't think it happens like closer to home. You don't think
oh
it
yeah,
happens at home until it happens, and then you're like, oh crap.
yeah. I mean, again, the craziest part is that we haven't had anything remotely close to that since like the 80s. I mean, before I was born. And I mean, they say that something like that probably won't happen for a while again. But that's kind of like, I mean, how do we really know that? But,
And you don't.
yeah.
It's a flash flood. Flash floods just happen out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the right
40.
combination of just freak occurrences in nature. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. And I mean, 45 minutes is an insane amount of time for that much water to rise. Like,
I mean, it's like how many you got? 29 foot, right? It rose 29 foot. Is that what you said?
yeah, 29 feet.
I mean, you're talking about like every minute, maybe like half a foot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, these kids are probably waking up 30 minutes into this flash flood, and they're like, oh crap. Or 10 minutes into this flash flood. Like, that's just the crazy part to me that these poor kids were asleep. They went to bed thinking, oh, tomorrow we're going to go have a fun day at camp.
Yeah. 4th of July celebration, all this
Yeah.
stuff.
It turns into pure chaos. I mean, it's 3 4 in the morning. It's dark. All you can hear is just water.
Mm-hmm.
Water's probably already, there. It's probably already flooded the floor.
Yeah.
Counselors are telling you to get up, and I mean, it's just. I mean, you're thinking about it. It's a U, and then it's just so much water, and it's just rising, coming up like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, so I'm kind of curious, like, all this water, I mean, it's all from the rain, of course, because I know you mentioned y'all had a lot of rain that week, too,
Yeah.
previously. So, like, so I guess all the water just goes straight into the river, right? There, y'all don't got no drainage system that goes elsewhere, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess we really don't. I think everything really does kind of drain into the river. But yeah, from what I've read and what I've kind of heard is that
water's gonna flow downhill. So
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
gonna.
is that it was an accumulation. So it was like a wall of water that came down the Guadalupe because it was of course raining in other parts too, and that water was kind of building up in different sections and then all coming together, converging. Because there's a Y that kind of splits the river at a certain point before Hunt, and so all that water is kind of converging to one spot and creating like a wall of water, and so all that water just builds up and is all piling up into this one stream now after it's come down from two separate streams, and so I think that's what really kind of I guess sparked it. I mean, as well as the amount, intense amount of rain that we'd been getting that night. So, but no, Ivan, I think you brought up a good point, though. I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that it was pitch black outside. It was dark. I mean,
Not to mention. I mean, it's the night before July 4th. I mean, people are definitely. I mean, at least adults are inebriated. So I mean, you're talking about RV parks.
yeah.
I'm sure people have been drinking.
Oh yeah.
4th, middle of the night. You're hearing it. I mean, it's gonna start moving things. You're waking up and you're just completely disoriented, and you've got max 10, 15 minutes to figure out what needs to happen. I mean, just the sheer force. I mean, you're talking about minutes to figure out that you need to get out and get to high ground.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gonna happen extremely fast. And if you get caught, I mean, if you're in a foot of water and then suddenly 2 feet hits you and it's up to your waist and how much force is coming, you're gone. I mean, there's nothing to do. Nobody can help you. Once it catches you, you're gone. I mean, you're flying down water. It's dark. You're trying to stay up. Things are crashing into you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the worst possible scenario for a flood is for you to get caught in darkness flying down a river.
Mm-hmm.
So much water just keep pounding you. I mean, you're trying to come up, but once you get cut under, you get cut under that pressure of water.
Oh yeah.
Just trying to get back up is, I mean, it's just so much just power roaring on you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just insane.
They said the water was rushing like at its peak at like 177,000 like cubic feet a second. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
It's like getting hit with the wall.
Yeah. And I mean it's crazy cuz I mean you go to these places where, you know, the river was at, and I mean there's cars that are literally buried under like feet of gravel and like mud and rocks, and I mean
Really, if you're not trained to swim at, I mean, special forces, like people that are like trained in certain, like the rescues and stuff,
yeah.
they know what to do in that scenario. I mean, you're talking about normal people being put into complete chaos, and then just no training. You have no training. You're just fighting for your life in a matter of seconds. I mean, I mean, you could talk about it, but to really understand what they went through is another thing. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
thinking about like, I mean, because I remember, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you could really correlate this, but Bear Grylls on Man vs. Wild,
Uh
sometimes he would do episodes where he would put himself in scenarios like that. Just water that's just rushing. I mean, he's a trained expert, and he just flies down and like just tries to swim out. I mean, and that was just on something that was compared to this just mild. I mean,
yeah.
it's just insane to think about what you had to figure out to do in a matter of minutes or seconds. It's terrifying.
Oh, and then you also have to watch out for all the debris that's in there already, because again, we had hundreds of trees that were uprooted. We had, you know, houses, and again, there was a rollaway dumpster out there that had been split open. I mean,
Dude, yeah, I mean, that's just, so you're like a ping pong ball. I mean, you're like uh, what are the games where you used to hit the things and it would hit the
uh,
ball?
Pinball, a pinball machine.
pinball.
You're
Yeah.
you're basically in a pinball machine of life. I mean, you get smacked by an object, smacked by a tree branch going that fast, it's just gonna impale you.
Yeah. There's this movie, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm pretty sure it's called like Impossible or The Impossible, where this
With the
family's,
tsunami?
yeah, with the tsunami. You know, I had seen that movie, and you know, in that movie you see them like in the water and like crashing into all this debris and stuff. And during this flood, I didn't even think of that, but once the water's kind of settled and you see everything that was under there, you're like, oh my god, like the amount of like stuff that was in there. And I mean, I think it explains a lot of the casualties as well. Because yeah, it's
Are
crazy.
y'all allowed to go near the river now?
No. So the parks are closed off. River access is pretty much shut down unless it's private property. Um, the water is considered to be severely contaminated right now. I mean,
Get
for
fresh.
obvious reasons, you know. So all of that's shut down. There's a lot of it's going to take a long time for anyone. I mean, I don't think I'd ever go to the river. I mean, it's one of those things that, we've thought about, like, especially where I work, we rely on a lot of tourism to Kerrville, and a lot of people would come here for the river and to, like, be a part of these events and stuff, and it's really like, who's going to want to come and, swim? Who's going to want to go kayaking? I mean, you can't go fishing. There's no fish in there. They all washed up on land.
Was there a bunch of dead fish on land?
Oh, yeah. Bunch of dead fish, cattle, deer.
Cattle and deer? That's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because along these rivers, we have a lot of ranches and stuff out here. So
I forget that y'all are deer counting out there. Like, y'all got a bunch of deer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, I think, and this is going to be a weird way to phrase it, but the good thing that came out of this is just seeing how strong not only our community is and how we've come together to help each other, but also just, the state of Texas or the world, really, because, I mean, we've had people from everywhere here. I mean, it's been insane to see all these outside, resources coming in. Like, we have the Mercy chefs that are here right now. They're from Virginia, and they just set up a kitchen that's going to be here for a year, feeding people. And then we've had the United Cajun Navy from Louisiana that's been here. They've been a big part of the search and rescue team. Or now they call it the search and recovery team. And I mean, we had several, firefighters from Mexico that were here, which is pretty interesting to see. Yeah. Yeah, and then we had firefighters from different countries that were here and their search and rescue teams, and again, we had the Coast Guard and all these people, all these. The other day, actually, I saw the Lubbock Fire Department. They were eating dinner at one of the restaurants here. I was like, wow, yeah.
That's crazy.
So, amidst all of this, dark and heavy situation, there is that light of, how much people really can come together. I mean, there's a lot of turmoil right now in the country, and seeing all of that, it's really inspiring. It's nice. But yeah,
not even that. Like a bunch of like big what is it, like football? Like I saw the Minnesota Vikings. All the way from Minnesota, they donated money. Like all these big
organizations.
Organizations. There you go. Trying to call them organisms. But all these big organizations, you know what I mean? Like Minnesota, like all the way from Minnesota, you know what I mean? Like they were like one of the first NFL teams to be like, no, we gotta step in.
Is there like does the town or does the county have like a timeline of like when life will be normal again, or is it just like you just gotta make it as it is?
So,
or live it as it is, I guess.
Yeah. They say that we're going to be in recovery for about a year. So I think they're just about to start wrapping up the last of the search and like recover stuff for those last two people missing. And then I think once they kind of get past that, we'll move into that rebuilding phase. Which is a lot. Like, our park is completely destroyed. Again, hundreds of people's homes and properties, and everything is just destroyed. There's businesses that are on the waterfront that were absolutely obliterated. Which in turn has a crazy impact on the community. I mean, because during this, you think about the people first, right? You think about the people with their homes, or you think about the camps. But then once the dust kind of settles a little bit, you're like, oh, what about those businesses? Those businesses that had 50 employees, or, they had 100 employees there. It's like, what happens to those people? They're out of jobs. But luckily, we've gotten a lot of donations coming in. I think from what I heard last, the big foundation that's been helping the community foundation just reached 100 million in donations.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a whole nother jar of worms that I won't talk about here, but we'll maybe talk about it later. But yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff whole lot of money coming into the city, which is good. But I think the key aspect is to focus on donating to individual families, because a lot of that funding is going to take forever to be dispersed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of politics behind all of that as well, so it's going to take quite a bit of time before that money hits the people's hands. So while it's good that we're getting all that money in, I know for one, at work with all of our donations and stuff that we've been taking and collecting money and all of that, we've been trying to focus on individual families and trying to get them cash in their hands right away. Because that is a big struggle. While we do have all this money coming in, it is going to take quite a bit of time for them to actually receive that. Because I think they just started doing businesses last week, and each business has received about $2,500, and I don't know what you would call that, like a grant, I guess, from the community foundation. So
It's like $2,500.
yeah.
I mean, is that like out of the 100 million?
Yeah.
It's not a dent.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
That's kind of disappointing, but
So, will they just get to choose how to appropriate these funds?
I have no clue, honestly. Again, I think the county is the one deciding how to disperse that money. So, the officials are kind of figuring that part out. But right now they're all tied up in the Senate meetings, which, if you haven't heard any of it, just look up some clips on like TikTok or YouTube. Because, man, those things are getting heated. But no, I mean, it's going to take some time for us to recover for sure.
I'm thinking if a business is just getting $2,500, how much are these individuals getting?
We don't know yet. Because, again, nobody's received money yet. So we don't know what they're going to be giving out.
That's kind of... I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to that. But
Systems failing the people.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I think that's been the main conversation since, in these last couple weeks. It's been, what should have been done differently, which is, I mean, a very valid question because, as we talked about earlier in the podcast, I mean, there really were no warning systems. I'll tell you a story that I think is really fucked up. So, we have our volunteer fire department here in Ingram, which, again, it's like 6-7 minutes from Hunt. They have their own volunteer fire department. But the Ingram fire department got a call at about 4 in the morning, as it was going on, right? From Hunt, telling them to let the officials know to send out the red alert. And what the red alert does is it goes out to everybody's phone in the county, and it basically issues an evacuation notice. Like, hey, everyone needs to get out now. And, what a proper evacuation would be. But when Ingram called the county to let them know that they needed to issue the red alert, the operator that was on the phone told them that they had to wait to get approval from their supervisor. And that, whoever it was, did not issue the red alert until like 10 a.m.
So is this operator fired? Is he...
I don't know.
Is he...
I don't know, but the our volunteer fire department, the chief, went on the news and was talking about it. And I'm pretty sure they're trying to get that chief kind of removed from their position right now. but again, it's volunteer, so I don't know how that works. But yeah, they were very blatant about that on the news, about the red alert and how it wasn't sent out when it should have been sent out. And I mean, I think if it would have been sent out, it could have helped evacuate Kerrville, because I mean, Hunt was already destroyed at that point, right? They were getting the call in from Hunt to let everyone else know, and I mean, unfortunately, that call wasn't made. So
I have nothing to say about that.
yeah,
If not, I'm going to say something I regret. I just will not comment. That's ridiculous.
yeah, no,
People of power, people just letting other people down.
yeah,
It's just ridiculous. People that get voted to those positions just letting people down.
mm-hmm,
For what? What did the cost of all that? I mean, why cut it? And then this happens? Why take away from it?
Well, see, a lot of the scrutiny is coming from a lot of our officials were out of town on vacation, 4th of July weekend, and this was going on, and I guess, nobody was picking up a phone or whatever to give that approval for that to go out. So I think that's where people are like, well, that's where the issues are stemming from. And it's I don't know, it's a complex situation, but I don't have an answer on like what I don't even know how to like address that situation. Like if I were in their shoes, like what would
you have done different?
yeah.
I mean, I feel like even if they're telling you, hey, it's life or death, you got to evacuate. I mean, I feel like I would do it even without a supervisor's permission.
Yeah, I just don't know how that system works though. Like
I guess so.
if they need like an
hack
authorization
system.
code or something,
It should. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I
Yeah.
mean, at that point, I mean, what? I mean, I don't even. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And
And so you said they're wrapping up like the search and rescue or recovery, I guess. So these last two people that are missing, I mean, obviously, unfortunately, they're casualties. So what's gonna happen? Like once if they can't find them, they're just gonna
I'm just gonna declare him dead.
yeah.
declare them.
Yeah. They will remain missing. I'm sure later down the line they'll be found. Probably not by search and rescue officials. Unfortunately, someone will have to report that. But yeah, I mean the whole. Again, if you guys just go and watch any sort of any of the hearing that's going on right now, there's a lot of testimonials from parents that were parents of the children from Camp Mystic, as well as just community members there in Hunt, as well as some of the other surrounding counties, and they give some really heartbreaking testimonials, and they talk a little bit more about how people were identified, which is another thing I didn't even think about. I mean, after that first day, it was pretty impossible to identify people without DNA testing. So
I mean, the water is gonna be your biggest adversary in that. I mean,
yeah,
DNA and water don't mix. I mean, most likely it's gonna have to come from probably dental records, or yeah,
if they're able to find that.
I mean, it's. I mean, the body begins composition almost immediately, especially in that. I mean, you're talking about the heat, you're talking about the humidity. I mean, that's just you. I mean, the body is gonna start breaking down almost,
Yeah,
and then the body's warm too. So I mean, it's just. I mean, mean, people are just gonna start splitting.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's already happened. But no, I remember. So again, for work, we went to go and help out. Went to go volunteer with some of the, some of our vendors and some of our friends of the company that lived out in Hunt. And we had made some care packages to deliver to the volunteer fire departments and the cadaver dogs. And we went to Hunt, and this was already a week and a half after July 4th. And I mean, as you drive in, so first of all, there's a state checkpoint. You can't get into Hunt unless you either live there or you're going to go and help somebody. Because a big issue that they were having is that all these media crews were there, or what they were saying, they were labeling people as influencers that were going out there to record stuff and capture footage or do interviews, or like there were a lot of people that were, I guess, were vlogging while they were like volunteering and like helping people clean or helping people like search. So they had, and it's still very shut down. Like you have to have your state ID and you have to tell them exactly where you're going and all of that. So it was weird just going through a checkpoint. But once you drive into Hunt, you just see this absolute obliteration of trees. Like, I mean, again, I'm talking like hundreds and hundreds of trees that had been there forever. And there were points, I remember where you would drive through Hunt and you couldn't even see the river because of the trees that were blocking it. And now it's just big, like open, like spaces of land that you just see now, and all these trees are torn up and shredded, and I mean there's like tree stumps everywhere that have been uprooted from the ground. And I mean there are some trees that are still standing, and they have like like articles of clothing that are hanging from the very top branches that are what seem like 70 feet up in the air. But once you get into Hunt, there's this certain heaviness in the air that you just kind of like feel, and it's so hard to explain, but like once you like go through there and you experience it and you're taking in that air, you're like, oh, like God, like this, it's so different. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just heavy. But yeah.
Nah, don't got anything to add to that.
Yeah. But again, kind of keep things a little bit light here. Among all this, there are a lot of people here helping. There's a lot of good things that I think are going to come from it. What were you saying, Alan?
Have you seen any like political? Like, I'm not trying to get political, but have you seen any of like state officials in there?
Yeah. So there was a big fluster whenever Trump came to town.
He came. He went there.
Yeah, he was here.
Oh wow.
We've had Governor Abbott. He's been here. I think he's still here, as well as Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Ted Cruz was here as well. So yeah, a lot of the state officials were here, and of course, like I said, Trump was here. I believe the Friday after. So yeah, that week after he had come out here, and yeah, there was a big fluster of people that were kind of everyone wants to state their opinions, but no, I mean, right now, all we can really do is just rally together, which we are. There's a lot of benefits going on, from several celebrities, artists, you name it. I mean, George Strait just had one, I think not last weekend, but the week before, and he raised like $60 million.
Wow.
Insane. but I mean, it was a very like private event, only for like the rich people. Like tickets were like expensive, and of course they had like auctions and stuff like that going on during it. So yeah, there is a lot of money, and there's a lot of people just trying to do whatever they can. Um, you know, whether it's making ribbons in solidarity, or making stickers or signs, or painting the town, painting storefront windows in green and for Camp Mystic, and like we have these ribbons here that we have at work, these green ribbons that we wear. One, it's the color of Camp Mystic, but two, it's also coincidentally the color for National Flood Awareness. So interesting how that works, but yeah, it's nice seeing all the camaraderie, because again, before this, a lot of turmoil was kind of going on through town, but it's really crazy how a tragic situation brings so many people together. Yeah. As you guys know, I lost a friend from high school during this. He unfortunately was one of the ones that did not make it. He passed away trying to save his family, which he did save. But like during that, it was so weird because I went to his vigil that Sunday, and you see all these people from high school, teachers, coaches, former friends and people you went to school with, and it's so surreal thinking about how quickly we move in our daily lives that you kind of take some of this stuff for granted, like the people that are around you. Like, I mean, I had seen this guy at a bar whenever I moved back, and he was like, "Hey, let's go, grab a drink sometime," and he was like, "And we'll catch up," stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah, we'll do that," but I never did.
It's life.
Yeah, but it was a weird little dance, not really a dance, but kind of just figuratively speaking, because you hadn't seen all these people in forever, and so at this vigil you see all these people, and you're there talking and doing this weird like little workaround because you're wanting to catch up with people you hadn't seen in so long, but then also you're there for very sad reason. But it was weird. It was nice in a sense that he was able to bring all these people together after so long, and you talk to all these people, and it's like you never skip a beat. I know it's super cliche. You hear that all the time, but it's definitely real. But yeah, I think if there's one takeaway from all this, whether you were affected by it or not, is that things happen, no matter how tragic. But it's the resiliency that shines through it all. It's how strong you come back, and I think Kerrville's gonna be just fine. Gone but never forgotten. I mean, I don't think we'll ever have a 4th on the River again. I don't think it's.
They might do like I feel like next 4th of July they might do like the commemorative
Yeah.
for the people, but maybe not on the river. But who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. Heavy stuff.
Yeah. I think all I can say is, continue to have Kerrville and Ingram and every town surrounding town and our prayers and thoughts and wishful thinkings, and continue to have positivity in each and every one of these people's lives that were affected. It's going to be tough, but I mean, just judging by what you've said and what you've witnessed, I mean, everyone's pulling through together,
Yeah.
and that's a major part. It's unfortunate that these events have to happen for people to pull together, but here y'all are so strong as a community, as a town. It's just so unfortunate what had to happen. What had to happen.
Yeah.
Death is what you make of it. I mean, if you wallow in it, you'll go to a dark place. If you decide to get up and keep moving forward and not carry that on your shoulders, I mean, great things can happen. People at Kerrville coming together, the town's coming together. In a year or two's time, the town will be great again. I mean, you got to take death as it comes and keep on trucking. I mean, it just is what it is. You take the grief and you sit in the grief for a week or two, but you got to get out of it after that
Yeah.
because they've gone. I mean, it's just a very blatant way to say it, but you know, beautiful things come from it as well.
Very true. Very, very true. I don't think I could have said it better myself there, Ivan. But yeah, again, heavy stuff, guys. But we thought it was important to talk about. I know there's a lot of light that's already been shed on the incident, but definitely think continuing to talk about it and shed that light is important. And again, the biggest thing is that we're all just here together, supporting each other. And yeah, it'll take time, but we'll come back. But all right, guys. We will see you all next week. Yeah. You guys have anything else to say, or?
Stay strong, Kerrville.
Yeah.